Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. Yo, it's your man Chan, Mind of a Maniac. I think it's cell 22. I think it's early as shit. It's cold and it's raining. Whew, so yeah, bear with me right now. And like I said, like I'm a trainer, so I take supplements. So I take a supplement called beta alanine, and it helps your blood flow and helps your oxygen get into your muscles, and it's really flowing right now. So it's making me itch. So that's one of the things it does. So if you see me tweaking, it's not because I'm a dope fiend and nothing like that. It's because my blood is really flowing right now. So like I said, bear with me. But like I said, it's real early. So I'm still halfway asleep, but I woke up and a couple people been asking me like a couple questions. So one dude, it's kind of like the first time he's seen me since like the pandemic started, because where he's been out of work and all that. And he asked me that, he was like, "Hey, so why'd you cut your hair?" And number one, the main reason is because Father Time's undefeated and I'm losing a little bit, but I was born with a crooked lineup. Like I don't know why, but like it's like God blessed me with good hair, but a fucked up lineup. It's been like that my whole entire life because I have like a little cowlick, but I guess because like when I took the DNA test, it said I was like what 9% Irish, so I guess that's where the cowlick and the drinking and all that shit came from. But but so that was the main. I guess that's the short term answer, but like the long term answer is I had my hair for like 11 years, and in that 11 years is where pretty much all the bullshit happened. So I was like in a cocoon, just basically waiting to hatch or waiting to come out like a butterfly. And during that time, that's when I had to find out, like I said, who I was. And going through 2020, that's when that shit happened. That's when I found out who I was. And that's because, like, I had to sit aside. Like, I spent a whole lot of time, the whole entire time I was by myself. So I had no choice but to sit there and reflect on myself. And I was sick and tired of going through the same bullshit of, number one, not knowing shit at all about like me, why I am the way I am, why my family is the way they are, and why things are the way they are. Like just overall, just why. And I always say it's not the what, it's the why. Once you figure out the why, then everything else starts to click. So, and I remember like there was one week, one week, and I just sat in the darkness and I cried the whole entire time. Like I didn't do shit. Like I don't remember cutting on no lights. I don't know. I think I might have gotten up and probably worked out with my homie and came right back just because I was so disciplined. Like when you have no motivation, that's when discipline kicks in because you're so used to it. So I'll get up, go work out, come back home, just sit and just, I don't know. I just didn't know, for real. And going through all that, it was pretty dark and scary. It really was. Like I wasn't going back to like my old self. That's never gonna happen. But just like I said, just trying to figure out why. And that's when I started to jot down shit. And actually, I started to record myself on my laptop. I started recording myself on my laptop, and I still haven't went back and listened to none of them shits. Like, side note, whenever I post this shit, I can't go back and watch it. Like, I can go back and watch my workout videos all the time because I'm studying myself, because I'm critiquing myself. And it's like, I'm trying to see, like, where I'm fucking up at. And I'm not talking. I'm just going. So, but like shit like this, it's like it's hard for me to go back and just watch that shit. I don't know why, but I just can't look at myself like it. Like, but I guess going back to the last, like a couple videos ago talking about insecurities and shit. That's where that shit kicks in. But a lot of rappers say they can't go back and watch the performances either, though. They said they don't like to watch themselves. So I guess that's a creator thing, I guess, or artist type of thing that we go through. But going through all of it, like whenever I started recording it, I started to just get all that shit out. And whenever you put that shit out, and whenever like your brain is connected with the universe is going to help you and feed you. Because I don't watch TV, I don't watch none of them shits. I just watch podcasts, radio interviews, and just like documentaries and just videos on just different types of shits. So, and of course, YouTube with the algorithm, once you watch something or something pops up, has recommended or this is something you should watch. So that's when all the mental health shit started popping up out of nowhere. And once you start watching that, like I said, my algorithm started to change on my YouTube shit. So, and that's when I started, once again, like I said, you are what you consume. So I started doing research and trying to learn this shit and finding books and it just started like I said, learning, just trying to soak up as much information as I could about what the fuck is going on. And the thing about the universe is if you're trying, like I said, it'll help you. If you're trying and really putting the effort in and you're really like trying to manifest the shit and you're really putting the work in, you're actually getting up and doing something about it, it's going to connect eventually. Like, it's going to. So doing all that research, I started to like find the why, like going back to how I was raised, going back to how my parents were raised, going back to how my grandparents were raised. So a little family history, I ain't gonna lie, not without getting too much into it. Like my great granddaddy was a bootlegger. He fought in World War II, and whenever he came home, he was a bootlegger. So, and back in them days, like during Prohibition and coming up in segregated times, and he was a black man having moonshine, which means he had black folks and white folks in his hands at the time back then. But coming home from World War II, like I said, during segregation times, all the trauma he went through, he comes home and displays all that trauma onto his kids, which their kids grow up and display that trauma onto their kids, and then so on and so forth. So once I started connecting the dots with all that shit and finding out like how we wasn't raised off love, we was raised off survival, then that's when the shit started to make sense. Then that's when I'm like, okay, there's no love, there's no compassion, there's no empathy. Got you. That's where everything starts to connect. Once again, everything's connected. So once I started figuring that shit out, I'm like, okay, now if I'm like that, everybody else has their own type of trauma and shit that they're going through too. So once I learned that shit, I started to show more empathy towards myself and everybody else. And that's when shit started to make sense, and I started to understand and find out, okay, this is why I'm doing this is why I'm doing that. God, this is why I'm going towards this type of people, and this type of people's being connected to me. Oh, God, everything's clicking now. Okay, so it's like an overload of information. So it's like, now it's damn near too much. So, but in order to get to where that is, or that was at that point, I had to go through the shit to get to the shine. We all had to go through the shit to get to the shine. And that's what we're all scared of. Because we're scared to be alone. We're so used to being like wanting people around us that it's because we don't know who we are. We're scared to be alone and like actually do the work. So that's where the laziness and entitlement all comes in today's time, which today's time is just a fucked up time. It really, really, really is. But it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. But going through all of that, then going through all this physical transformation and becoming a trainer during all of it, I started to figure out why I think why I'm here. And ironically, like the shit to the shine shit, I actually Googled my name here recently. I Googled Chan and Chandran. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Chan. Or no. Chandran means shining. Go figure. I don't know. And Chan means snow. Ain't this I was born in a snowstorm. And Chandran means shining. I'm not making this shit up. But I was willing to do the work. I've been a workhorse my whole entire life. I've never been lazy. Even when I was drinking, I was working 12 hours every single fucking day. So I'm a grinder. I'm not scared to work. I'm not scared to get dirty. I'm not a pretty boy. I ain't none of that shit. Like, I'm not really big on jewelry. A couple things that I want in the future, but flashy shit, nah. I'm just straight workhorse. That's all I am. But I did the work, though. I did the work to figure out why. And that's why we're all scared. Because everybody talks about manifestation, but they're forgetting the most important part, and that's the work. Shit in one hand, wish in the other, see which one fills up faster. But and there's still a whole lot more that I have to figure out too. So I'm not saying I've figured everything out. I don't have everything figured out. And it's funny because my uncle, who I looked up to my whole entire life, because on my mama's side, like I said, my mama, all my aunties and female cousins, and it was just me and him. For like 20-some years, it was just me and my uncle. That was it. We was only men. So it was me and him spending a whole lot of time together. So I looked up to him like a father figure growing up. But he said, man, you the guru. And when he said that, it fucked me up. I'm like, ow. I don't know about that. But coming from him, wow. Yeah, that was a mindfuck right there. But like, speaking of like the jewelry part, like somebody else asked me, like, why do I wear a dog chain whenever I work out? And there's several reasons why. But the main reason is because I looked up to DMX so fucking much. Like, DMX is in my top 3 rappers of all time. Point blank. Point blank. He's... Ever since I first heard Ruff Ryders National Anthem when I was a kid, I'm like, that guy. He's that guy. And I've followed him every fucking since. And once I said, I'm a nerd, so I research everything, especially with music. So every time I would just research everything on him, learn everything about him. And we had some of the same demons. Like, me and DMX were so relatable in so many different ways. Because he sucked at line. He was bluntly honest. He loved helping people and had a big heart. We both were born in December. And we battled a lot of the same demons. And we both went up and down with the shit. And so everything he was going through, I understood 100%. Like, when everybody's saying, like, oh, he died because of this and that, nah. It comes to a point to where you just get tired, dog. You just get tired. And you can fight for so long, and everybody has a breaking point at one point. Like, I think he was just ready just to go. He was like, man, I'm sick of being, like, I know why I'm here, but I think I did everything I was supposed to do. But, and the name DMX means Dark Man X. Because, like I said, the demons that he had. And whenever I work out, I unleash. Like, for real. People say, like, I might look like an asshole. I'm not. I'm honestly a teddy bear for real. Just don't poke the bear. I look like my face is just, like, my whole entire family, we all have this mean mug about us for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but I just stay out the way, and I really just don't want to be bothered for real. But whenever I'm in there putting in work for real, I let that dark man out because he lives within me and I have to let it purge. I have to let it out some way, somehow. And when I'm in that like kill mode, it's like I really am like a tiger in the jungle, like in the fucking wild, stalking my prey. And I feel like I'm just on the prowl and I'm just lurking. And it's like, that's why I say hashtag feeding time. And whenever like I'm doing shit for some reason, it's like I can see different types of shit. Like for real. Like I said, whenever I listen to music, I can see the music. Whenever I'm in there working out, I don't know why, but like especially when the music is going, it's like, and I'm in there by myself, it's like I see like other people around me. And it's like I'm in a circle and it's like people are coming for me for some reason, and like I'm in a competition. And whenever I'm working out, it's like I'm showing like who everybody, like who pretty much like the alpha is and shit. And it's like I'm just spazzing the fuck out. And at the same time, like how Jordan said he would just make up scenarios and shit, I'm thinking about all the bullshit I done went through my whole entire life, all the shit that's going through my head, all my dick, everything negative. I'm letting all that shit out. Like I've cried so much in there. Of course, sweating all day. Y'all see how much I be sweating and shit. I've even bled. Like I've dripped blood and ripped skin, and like I don't know if you see my hands. Like they still healing up and shit. Like I've bled in that motherfucker. I give it everything, and I just purge, and I purge, and I purge, and I purge, and it's just, I can relate to DMX so much because whenever he's on that stage, he's just giving everything he's got. And when I used to drink, I used to sit in my room with my headphones on, plug up to my stereo with a big ass glass of whiskey. I just sit there like against like my dresser, and I would just listen to DMX all night, and I would just pass out. But I was watching it in the dark, and that was the coldest fucking funeral. Not only like the coldest funeral, but probably like one of the coldest things I've seen for real. Like how like the structure came up, and it was the Sunday service singing However Do You Want It from the intro to Belly, and the way that they were singing and ringing off, that shit gave me goosebumps. That shit gave me fucking goosebumps, and it just broke me down. I'm like, fuck, man. I lost my dog. No pun intended, and but yeah, like, and right after that, that's whenever I started wearing the dog chain. And if y'all go to YouTube and look up DMX performing at Woodstock, it's like, that's like the biggest performance a rapper's ever did. I think the only people that did one bigger probably might have been like Cypress Hill back at Third Woodstock. It was literally 500,000 people. Literally 500,000 people. And he was performing in a red coveralls and Timberlands with a dog chain on. For real. So like I idolized the fuck out that man. And he wasn't really that big on jewelry either. And he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect at all. But everywhere he went, like it's like people had like something to say. Like it's like he left an impression on people with everybody that he fucked with. Even random people. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons why, actually that is the main reason why I wear a dog chain. And I have a fascination for dog tags too. I've been loving dog tags ever since I was a kid. But so like when it comes to jewelry, that's probably the only thing I'd like to wear. But I would like to have like a gold Cuban link. Ever since like I was a kid, like one of the things, like Rakim's also on my top 3 rappers too. Ever since I seen him with a Dookie chain, ever since I seen one of them shits, I'm like, I want one of them. And when Raekwon had only built for Cuban links, I started seeing him wear Cuban links, and Nipsey all his his Cuban links. I'm like, I want at least one of them shits. So dog tags and Cuban links, I'd like to have some of them shits for real. I'm gonna get one in the future. So, but that dog chain, yeah, that's because of Darkman X, DMX, man. Fuck, but. It's about that time too to throw the chain on, so I can go ahead and get this purge on out the way. But yeah, I advise everybody to do some time alone and try to figure out who they are, though, for real, and figure out not the what but the why that you're doing what you're doing right now. Because once you figure out the why and remember the why, that's your main focus and that's your main goal. Not only with training, but like with any and everything in life. Just always try to remember the why.